don't know about you, but I have way too many things in my wardrobe that are ill-fitting, need repair, and basically need to get Now, today isn't the video where I do a closet purge, but what we are gonna do is take 3 of my me-made pieces that have potential but that I never wear and give them some much needed updates to make them way more wearable and functional, and so that I can be cute and colorful all summer long. Piece number 1 is this really cool pair of plaid pants that I made. They were my very first ever hard pants pattern. I did like a button and a zipper fly and everything. Very proud of them. They are the Daughter Judy Co trousers, and they actually fit really well. Initially, I was planning on cutting them into shorts, but once I tried them on and filmed the before footage, I was like, oh, hang on, never mind. I really like these as pants. The problem, as you can see, are the pockets. For some reason, I must have skipped a step because they cannot be designed this way. But the inside part, I forget what it's called, but the cover so you don't see the pocket bag, is just flapping loose like a dog's ears. So we are just going to sew that down and those will be fixed. Me-made number 2 is a sleeveless Sid tie dress by Sydney Graham. This dress is awesome. It's what I throw on when I need to be naked, basically, when it's so hot. It's a super flowy light rayon that with some wear I have discovered isn't the most high quality. It's already starting to pill, which kind of stinks, but it's really cute. It's really flowy. I love the print, but it's just basically way too long. I have done this twice with Sid Graham patterns. Apparently it takes a little while for me to learn things. First were the lane pants that I made at the beginning of my twin pregnancy, which you can go back and look at my first ever YouTube video on. I made them super long. She drafts things for 5'7", I think, height, and I am 5'0". And for some reason, twice now, I've just made her patterns without any modifications. So I've learned my lesson now, but I have yet another repair to do. So this Sid dress has a ruffle layer on the bottom and it touches the ground. It drags in the mud. If I wear it with my kids, it's just a disaster. I'm carrying one baby in one arm, one baby in the other arm. I've got a toddler on my leg and I'm trying to hoist my skirt to walk up the stairs. It's not the vibe. So we're just going to remove the ruffle at the bottom. I could also potentially take in the seam at the bodice, where the bodice connects to the skirt. But I'm going to see if I actually need to do that because I kind of like where it sits and I don't really want to lose a lot of length there. So we'll see. The armholes are also a little bit low. It's something I've taken into account for making the dress again, which I plan to, but I don't really think I'm going to bother with it this time because like I said, it's a really loose and flowy dress, so I don't really care if my bra peeks out. And finally, we have the Shoreline Shift by Caden Naughton, I think it is. I really like this one. I made this one while I was pregnant. It was my only dress pattern that I made while I was pregnant with my twins. And it just didn't really turn out that great, to be honest. I love the fabric I used. It's this Indian block print cotton that's just light and beautiful and is crisp. It feels great. But it had this weird border on the bottom. And I had to use the whole length of the fabric. And because it's a curved hem, you sort of you get the border and then you lose the border, and then you get the border and you lose the border. It's not really very cute. And also the border just doesn't really go with the fabric very well. So I'm just going to take it up to make it a top because I really think I'll get a ton of use out of it. The other thing about this pattern that I may or may not address is it's one of those where the top is super, super big and then it has a drawstring where you cinch it in. And that makes the shoulders sort of they're floaty in a weird way. I think it could be cute on someone else, but I'm just not feeling it for myself. So I may just take a little triangle shaped slash out of those and then sew it up. I'm going to see how I feel on that one. We've got our 3 projects. Let's get sewing. To get started, I had to clear off my filthy desk that I use all day for my work from home job and transform into my sewing desk, which gets equally as filthy. All right, ignore the mess behind me. I always do. I have got the dress all ruffleless now. So I'm going to even this all out, make sure it's 100% later tonight when I have a little bit more time. I'll hem it up and then I can see how I feel about the bodice. As you saw in the before footage, it hangs a little bit lower in the back than it does in the front. To be honest, this doesn't really bother me that much. I have a bust. It is what it is. And also this dress is just what I throw on when it's too hot to wear anything else, because it is a really lovely, like, rayon, very drapey fabric. So we're going to get it finished, see if I care enough to fix the bodice. And if I do, I can add that to the list. But honestly, I think we're just going to hem it and call it a day. Now let's move on to doing a little hand sewing on my pants. Getting those pocket bags nice and tucked in so I don't have weird little dog ears hanging out. So I'll smooth it out from this side and I'll pin it down from this side. It's kind of hard. Hopefully Asian people don't do this. I decided to do some hand sewing here, and I pinned the pocket bag cover to the front of the pocket bag, making sure that I didn't sew all the way through and close off the pocket. I did this A, because I didn't want to catch anything unnecessary in the machine, and B, because I'm lazy and I love to sit on the couch and do a bit of hand sewing, especially after my kids go to bed and I can just watch something trashy on TV. However, my kid was not asleep, as you will hear momentarily. Hi, sweetie. Hey, honey.
I told you about party.
You did?
I did.
Wow. I tried on the shoreline shift off camera just to make sure that it was going to be sitting in the spot that I wanted. I marked it with a pin, and then I took it to my cutting table, aka my regular dining room table with a giant cutting mat on it, and measured that length all the way around. It ended up being 9 1/4 inches, so I just marked that off with chalk, and then I chopped that bad boy up. All right, the dress is all marked up and it's ready to become a top. Let's do it. In retrospect, I probably shouldn't have used this fabric for this top / dress because it was a curved hem. So as you can see, it had this border around the bottom, which I didn't really like anyway. I just needed it for the length. And like, it just disappears, and because it curves, then it reappears. It's definitely a little wonky, so I'm not sorry to say goodbye to that. The same thing will happen with the birds. It's a little hard to see, but it's like a bird pattern. The same thing will happen with the birds, but I think it'll be a little less stark since it's still all the same color and everything. And also, you know, whatever. The stakes are low. Anytime you're making something for yourself, it's just not that serious, right? Like, you can always start over. Sometimes it's stressful to cut into the good fabric, and I did consider this good fabric, but it wasn't expensive fabric. That being said, I'm on a pretty tight budget and I'm on a fabric buying ban because my stash is out of control. I need to sew some of the things before I buy new things. I'm going to my crafting / knitting group tonight. I'm excited to work on some baby bonnets. I have 3 friends that are pregnant right now, so I have some pixie baby bonnets that I'm working on. I'm almost done with number 2 of 3, and yeah, they're super easy. It's just like a big square that I graft in half, and then I apply an I-cord to it. It is so fun. I do love to knit. I want to make some knitting videos at some point. I like watching people's knitting videos, but from the creation side, I need to like do some research into watching the knitting videos that I like and figure out more of why I like them, because I struggle to think about how to make it interesting to watch. I recently watched Ash Bentley's like knitting 5 hats in 5 days, which she did not do in 5 days, unsurprisingly. That's a crazy task. I really love all of her videos. She's so fun. She's one of those ones that makes these insane projects that I just like aspire to. I do like have to acknowledge that like life circumstances are different, right? Like, to my knowledge, she doesn't have any kids, and that makes a big difference. But at the same time, I can take inspiration from her projects and like apply it to my abilities and my time frame and things like that. She made this like crazy red creepy latex outfit, and I love that shit. I love an unsettling, spooky girl. She's ready for pressing. There you have it. A nice crispy hem. I think we're great on length. I think it looks really good. The issue that remains are the pockets of the dress. Tell me, I'm gonna get close. Tell me why I was about to get my seam ripper out and rip not just the regular seams, but the understitching seams to take the pockets out and then restitch the side seams. Work smarter, not harder, Hannah. What I'm gonna do is simply sew this seam down to close off the pocket and then serge. My serger cuts the remaining fabric anyway, so I just saved myself like an hour of unpicking for absolutely no reason by using my brain. My projects are complete. I've got some thoughts, and most of them are extremely positive, but there's a couple notes here and there. First of all, this top, my Shoreline shift top, beautiful, stunning. I've been wearing it constantly since I fixed it, which is a relief because I wore it never before when it was a dress. It does, just by the nature of its silhouette, have a very voluminous profile, I guess, and it feels like it sticks out more in the front and in the back, giving me sort of a weird shape. But it is also super hot here in Michigan right now. It's the middle of the summer, and it really feels like I'm not wearing anything. There's very little touching my body. It is extremely nice. I did debate like taking off some of the ruffle here at the sleeve. Sorry, maybe I moved my hair. Taking off some of the ruffliness here at the sleeve. But I found that depending on how I cinch the neckline, I can kind of smooth that out. So I'm not really worried about it, and it wasn't worth it to me. I also talked about maybe taking up the armhole, and I found that actually, depending on the bra I wear, it's a non-issue. So if I care enough, I can just wear it with an appropriate bra. To me, that's good enough. Now the pants are definitely a win. I haven't been wearing them very much, but only because it's been so hot that I will not be wearing anything but shorts and skirts for a while. But the pocket bags being tacked down is a huge win. I know that I'll wear them a lot more in the fall and in the winter because now they are wearable and I'm not constantly worried about the bag popping out and looking crazy. Was it my best hand sewing job in the world? Absolutely not, but it's very functional. I did back stitches throughout, and then at the very end, I just did running stitches. The dress is probably the one I'm the least happy with, just because taking the ruffle off did remove more length than I thought it would. I think the extra fabric was kind of weighing it down a little bit, and once I removed it, I was like, oh, this is a knee-length dress. whereas I'm more of a midi girl. That being said, I think I'm going to get a lot of wear out of it anyway. It doesn't really matter that much to me. It was hard to make sure that the hem was really even because it's such a drapey fabric. So it's a little, you know, she's got personality. It's a little wonky, it's a little wavy, but I think it is going to be completely fine. This dress was another one where I considered like moving up the armholes, like taking up the sleeves a little bit more. And again, it was fixed by wearing a different bra. So you guys might see a peek of my granny bras in the footage, but just know that it can be fixed with different garments if I so desire. For me, this entire process was a huge success because I know that I've extended the life and honestly given life back to these garments. I had never worn this one once since I have been pregnant. And even then I only wore it like 2 or 3 times when nothing else would fit and I didn't have anything clean. The dress I wore occasionally before, but I was always stepping on it and getting annoyed. So that definitely stayed in my closet primarily. And same with the pants. And now I know that I'll be able to go out and wear them with more confidence and like, not confidence like, oh, like a yogurt commercial, but confidence like that I won't be showing people weird stuff or falling over. I hope you enjoyed this video. I have more sewing and crafting adventures to come, as well as turning my unfinished Michigan basement into a sewing studio for no money because I am poor. So if you're interested, please stick around, give it a like, give it a subscribe, give it a comment if you feel so inclined, and I will see you in my next one. I upload every other Friday. All right, thanks, bye.